I was only 4 minutes late. hmm. Huh. It might be a little more readable. We'll see when the sun really comes out. Right now it's behind a cloud. It kind of worked. We'll see. Hmm. All right. Let's start some practicing. Yesterday I forgot to make it public for those like 10 minutes. So yeah, I wanted to make sure I didn't mess that up this time. Now I have already shot once this morning, and I'm gonna try for a whole nother set after this group. So I do 3 practices a day if I'm not going to my not at home job. So yeah, so there'll be 3 today, but only 1 live stream, which is this one. Welcome to the live stream. 2 arrows at once. New that's a pro move right there. You actually shoot 2 at once. Extra bonus points. No, don't shoot 2 arrows at once. It's not a good result. Quiet so far today for people showing up to the live stream, but we'll see if it gets busier later on. This should run for about, well, probably close to an hour, depending on how long it takes me to shoot and the conversations we get in. So if anybody has any questions or they just want to discuss something between me and the comments section, the live feed comments section, then go right ahead and post something. Oh, there we go. That was a good shot. This is the first end. This is the first end, by the way, and I've been on break from shooting for the last. It's been a couple hours. We finished the first set of shooting about 10 o'clock or so, maybe 10:30. So this is the second set, starting at about 12:30. It would be really cool in the future to be able to get more than one of these cameras set up. So maybe have like this view right here as like the main camera, and then I would love to get one down at 70 meters and show the arrows actually hitting. And then maybe even like a frontal one where you're just looking at me from the front, or something along those lines. But at least one other camera. I think that would be a lot of fun. Just a matter of like logistics for that, though. It's pretty difficult. Not that like I shoot some pretty good groups and some pretty good ends. I'll have days where I'll pretty much I'll shoot like 150 plus arrows, and I'll keep majority of them in the gold. But then again, this is practice, so I'm really just sharing with you guys my my practice sessions. Oh, by the way, if you ever see me just set down randomly, it's not always like a form thing. We have a lot of bugs where I live in the woods, so in my best interest, I'd rather kill the bug than be eaten by it, because they're usually quite large, and we have a variety of them. So I don't know. It's just habit to just sit down and be like, all right, your bug's gonna die today. So yeah, that happens, especially as we get further and further into the summer season. We get more and more bugs, especially if it warms up. It was really cold yesterday. All right, that was the last arrow. Oh, all right. Thank you for agreeing on the different or at least telling me that you would enjoy different views. Yeah. So like, by no means am I saying that I'm an all right archer. I'm good, but I'm working and I'm trying to practice to be better. But yeah, I think people would get a kick out of seeing like a different angle, maybe even like I don't know, maybe like a top down and then one at the target. Because I don't know, for me, it's not about the result down there so much, because if I shoot well here, if I shoot my bow well, I'll shoot a nice group and a nice tight consistent group, and then I'll just move my sight to where I want it. You know, I obviously want the group in the center of the target. So yeah, all of this is really just like chatting with you guys over YouTube, and then just doing my usual practice, and then hopefully giving somebody else an idea or inspiring people to take up archery or just to practice more and things like that. So I'm gonna go grab the arrows since I have none left, and I'll be right back. And hopefully my sign's kind of readable today. We're working on it. All right, I'm back. All right, I'll have to work on doing one for the target, and I'll just put it. It'll be small, and I'll just put it in one of the corners here. I don't know, probably maybe over here, because even if I'm shooting, then you would see it under my arm. So yeah, that's something I can look into doing. I just wasn't sure how you know how people would receive, like, me doing this. So I figured it would be fun, and so far the response has been very positive. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to improving the setup some, even even more so. This is just a webcam right here, and even though at this point in time it looks pretty good on my laptop, uh, when the when the sun gets kind of crazy and we don't have a lot of overcast, it gets really messy. It'll get really blown out. It'll get a lot of these spots behind me and stuff. They get hit by the sun. Direct on will be very bright. But other than that, yeah, it's not a bad setup. All right, so end number two. So does anybody have any interesting, like, archery news or anything they want to talk about? I know Shibuya had a big announcement. I didn't read the whole thing, but I know they're releasing either a new V bar or a new color for their V bar setup, for the stabilizer setup. So I thought that was interesting. I don't know what other products they came out with because I have not gotten a chance to read it. But if anybody else has any, like, interesting news they want to share, just want to talk about, let me know. I'm always open for archery related stuff. Hmm. See, look, this is what I was talking about with the sun. It goes from just like, yeah, looking pretty good, to like, whoa, man, way too bright. And this poor little camera just doesn't have the capabilities. But it has a pretty cool looking effect, at least from my screen I have down here. One of, like, the interesting things about archery are, if you've done it, like, enough, and you really start to understand, like, how your body's working, and, like, you have an idea on, like, like, how you want to shoot the shot, like how you think it should be shot. It's funny when you, like, notice little things, like for me, if it comes off my nose, it's like, oh well, that's not gonna be a great shot. Or like, I'll shoot, and before the arrow even hits, you can already tell, pretty much where it's going to go. I love that. That, like, you just get this wonderful feedback from shooting archery. It's like, I know what's gonna happen before it even happens. Like, it maybe only be like this, split second, but I don't know. It's a pretty wild thing. I feel like I've never done anything else in my life that's like that I get the same kind of response from, where my action, I can already see or at least feel the outcome of it before it actually occurs. Oh, that was fantastic. All right, Anthony, we need to do more of those. Now that's a funny thing too. I don't know if anybody else has this situation where I'll shoot a really good shot and I'm so excited that the shot was like, oh, that was a wonderful shot. It felt great. Actually looks like it went where I wanted it to go. And it's like, all right, we got to get another arrow on. Let's shoot another one. And then it's funny because I feel like sometimes you end up rushing, or I end up rushing myself. Now it's something I've worked on to be like, all right, good shot. Let's put another arrow on. Just do, just do what we just did. Let's not think about that last one. That one's in the target already. Let's just go do it again. It's so funny though, because like I get such a nice feedback, from the good shots. Well, yeah, feedback from the bad ones too. That it's like, oh, let's go. Not quite. I've been putting a lot of work into. So I have a coach, and I go for lessons about every week, unless I have like a USAT tournament or something that's going to take up, a good portion of time. Then I either like I won't go, or usually I end up skipping because it'll be like the same day I end up flying out for the shoot and things like that. So like schedule wise, that's a mess. So I usually go to my coach every week, and then we work on a set of things, and then as I master those, we move on to the next thing. Now, of course, I've been shooting for a really long time, so like I have an idea, but it's nice. It's nice to have a coach that is, that's working on like build up your skill as a shooter, and not just trying to like rush you. Like we focused a lot on like the stance and just setting up the bow, placing how it's placed in my hand and my grip on the bow, and on the string. And I don't know, I found that really cool. Even though I've been shooting for so long, it's nice that even with somebody that has experience like me, that this person takes the time to make sure that I am doing all the basic steps well first, and then moving on to more at I don't know, I guess you could say like more advanced, or like the smoothing out not quite perfection, but like kind of perfecting the form. So yeah, I don't know, it's been a good adventure, and I'm getting a lot of enjoyment out of it. Yeah, there we go. Moved a little bit, just a little bit. All right. Oh, I think we have another comment. So let's see. All right. Who would I say my shooting style is more similar to? Um, so from what my so my coach's background is, he's actually originally from Korea, and of course now he lives in the United States. So he's worked with. He was on some of the top. I know he ended up going to an archery college. I don't know like all the details, like the sports universities. So he was very big into archery there. I don't think he didn't make any like national teams, but he made like college stuff. So he's got like the, I guess, traditional like Korean form background. Plus, when he moved to the United States, he got all the training from uh, Coach Lee and everything that's going on, everything they're trying to do in the U.S. So basically, he said, my shot will be similar to, yeah, obviously it's going to be my own thing, but he said it would be kind of similar in a way to like Brady's, but I can see myself, I don't know, like I've always like admired like Kim Woo Jin's shooting, and then some of the archers in the past, like Park's shooting's was always amazing. I love watching like Kibo Bay. So I can't quite say like from my perspective that I shoot like a particular archer. I've always viewed it as my own, but his not, kind of like an idea, or at least his idea that he was giving me is like, he's like, basically we're gonna try, or I'm gonna show you how how to shoot similar to or about how Brady shoots, with how he's using his back so well, and like he showed me a lot of video of Brady and of other shooters. He's like, basically this is the concept that all top archers need to pretty much embody. And then from there, it's kind of up to you, like how things go about. Best answer I could give, but I'm big fan of a lot of other shooters across the world. Like even I like what like Steve Weiler and stuff is doing over in the Netherlands. I think his shooting's pretty awesome too. So I don't know. I'm pretty much a fan of everybody, but I don't know. Still working on my own.
The sunshade popped up.
I think it's over. The sunshade is broken. It's officially broken. All right, I'm gonna go down and pick up arrows. We'll see how long it holds.
Probably not long to win.
It was still a 10, but it was eh, eh. Oh, by the way, if you want an idea, I'm basically shooting like, for the most part, like reds and in. So sevens to tens. If you want numbers, sevens to tens. So far today. Yeah. So for anybody new, basically this is something I'm going to do or try to do every single day, as long as the weather is, permitting. Since none of this stuff is waterproof, I definitely can't do it when it's raining, and also try to do it at about the same time every day. So somewhere around 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, since I'm in New Jersey. So yeah, tune in, whatever that is in your local time. Pretty much every day. Of course, you won't know when the weather's bad, but if you don't see me on somewhere between 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock p.m., then it's probably raining pretty good where I'm at, and it's just not safe to bring out electronic devices. So just a heads up to everybody. Ooh, do I practice any kind of mental technique such as meditation to help with archery? Um, at this point in time, no. But okay, so for me, I think about archery a lot, and like even something like this, like we're live streaming right now. Like you guys are archers and stuff, or maybe you're not archers, but anyway, like this itself is some kind of mental training in in some kind of scope. So I guess I don't really do like the more standard stuff, because I know there's a lot of archers that'll like do some form of meditation, or they'll do let's see, they'll do some kind of like maybe like a hypnosis thing, or they will, let's see, they try to like put themselves into situations that like challenge their mental game. And I feel like I do like the latter. I kind of put myself into situations that challenge my mental game, like during archery. So I think that's good. But my job when I'm not doing like YouTube related stuff is managing like a pharmacy convenience store. So I get a lot of interaction with people, and even though that is not archery related, I feel like the pressures there, like the whole customer service aspect and everything, is really challenging on your mental game because you don't want to get yourself frazzled. It's not like, like, and you got to keep this other person calm, especially since they're usually like freaking out at you over something that's usually trivial, but they think it's a big deal. So you need to take them seriously. So I find that like because I do this job, that I do get a certain level of mental, I don't know, I guess toughness, or just like my experiences have been so broad because of the complete randomness of like just the public as a whole coming into this store with their problems they have, has really trained me pretty well to like expect the unexpected and not be surprised by it. So yeah, so for me, I'm probably maybe a kind of a bad example for like archery training and like mental training. Then again, I've also been shooting archery for a long time now, like 13 years. So for me, I feel like my biggest weakness in shooting was the fact that I was having a hard time finding a coach that that was local, that I could see every week, because I really like the hands-on training where somebody can actually like look at me from all these different angles instead of just say like one angle like you guys see me right now. They can look at me all the time from all these different angles, and once a week I can get like straight up in person a lesson telling me what I need to work on, and then shown how I need to work on this, and then and they make sure that I understand the whole concept. So for me, it's always been like a physical thing, like a form thing. I and I guess the only time that I've ran into like a mental related problem would be if I was unsure about my form, and then that would cause me to get really really frazzled about something because I couldn't figure out what was going on. But in all the times where I was very confident about my shooting and my form, I feel like I never had any mental game problems where I was messing with myself, because I was confident. Oh, I can do this. I just wasn't shooting high enough scores, qualification scores, and head-to-head elimination scores to actually go and like win tournaments. But I wasn't nervous about the qualification or the elimination. I was just like, I can do this. Let's put some arrows in the target. If I shoot good shots, they're probably going to be in the middle. So that's my take on it. At least for me. But yeah, like a lot of people like the mental management stuff, and a lot of people listen to like CDs about like confidence and things like that. Uh, if you have a coach, obviously you want to see what your coach has to say about it. But yeah, very good question. Now, the one thing I do when I practice, I only practice until I start making like poor shots, because from at least my experience, when I try to like just keep pushing how far I practice without taking like a break, I found that I would start making a lot of really bad shots, and then I was really only reinforcing that bad form with those bad shots. So basically, because of how I have everything set up in my life, I can manage to shoot on days that I'm not like having to go somewhere to work and I'm just working from home. I can shoot 3 different shooting sessions, really break up the shooting, and that way I can pretty much rest in between, do something else, take my mind maybe off of actually shooting arrows, maybe shoot some videos about arrows and archery or whatever. But I found like that break, those breaks in between really like rejuvenate and like get you reset. Like, so if I finish like a set of arrows, I don't know, say I shoot like 4 or 5 ends, and the last one I'm a little iffy on, I find that break really like clears my mind and clears any kind of maybe a little bit of maybe doubt, like that wasn't going too great, and it really gets me like really resets me to go and shoot say another 4 or 5 ends worth of arrows, or even more, depending on how it's all going. So I understand that like not everybody can do that, but like sometimes it is good. Like if you're somewhere for like 2 hours, maybe taking an hour and then take a little 15-minute break and then go back at it. It could be better for your overall training. I'm not sure if anybody else does it that way, but it seemed to work pretty well for me. So I'll just put it out there just in case anybody finds that helpful. Oh, look, the sun just got covered up. This is the best looking picture I've seen all day out of this camera. All right, let's reset. All right, maybe not the best release in the world. The other ones though shot pretty well, so it's not too bad of a group down there. I would guess without having a spotting scope, they're probably 8s and in, but we'll see. Ooh, special kind of diet or beverages for archery. Um, that's funny actually, because I find like everybody in archery, for the most part, now I'm generalizing a little bit, but I feel like everybody's like this massive foodie. Uh, you'll like walk down the line at these USAT events, and everybody's talking about where they're going for dinner. Like I'm sure it's like that in other sports, but like I feel like archers are like really into food. So diet wise, I think like if you're pretty average size, I really don't think a lot of these people worry too much about it. It's everything in moderation. It seems like is the classic style. Now there's some of the top guys that'll like really be. It seems like they're more serious to an extent about what they're eating, but I haven't heard anything really intense about that. Now myself, uh, I don't eat anything that's crazy. Like I'm not a big fan of like candy and things like that, so I kind of check that off the list. Drinks wise, I used to drink Gatorade a lot, but now I've switched to Propel, and it's the powdered Propel. So you get like I don't know, I think like it's a dozen of them or whatever per box for like $2 or $3. It's very affordable, and there's like no sugar to it, but it has all of the electrolytes and things that like Gatorade has, and then some, but then no sugar. So before I was drinking, just at like practice right now, between my 3 sessions, I was drinking something like two and like maybe 2 to 3, 3 to 4, probably like 2 to 3 bottles of watered down Gatorade every single day. That is an incredible amount of sugar. And basically, I cut that out. I probably lost some weight just from cutting that out. It probably wasn't anything like really substantial, but I wouldn't be surprised if I lost like, I don't know, say 5 pounds off of just switching, from that. And besides, I find the Propel to be just as like tasty flavor wise without getting all that sugar. So you're not getting that sugar rush if you don't want that sugar rush. And yeah, I don't know. I found that to be a lot better for me. But I actually learned that from Vic Wonderly, the 2000 individual silver medalist from Sydney. He still shoots the USAT events, and he was talking about how he was recommended the Propel by I think like a dietitian or something like that. I may have the person's doctor wrong, like the wrong name for the doctor. But yeah, basically somebody that was into nutrition and stuff said that the Propel ones were the way to go for hydrating in the heat and things like that. Other than that, just I take some protein, but I believe it should still be the one that the Olympic weightlifting team uses. So I figured that was safe, like USADA wise and everything, because if they're taking it and going to the Olympics with it, then me as just right now this shooter that shoots nationally in the U.S., I figured I should be pretty safe. Now, as a note though, too, like so when these people are usually talking about their dinners, they do usually focus on like food that they either go for like the carb angle of it with like the protein. So they but there's usually a focus on some kind of protein. So just to put that out there, don't think we're all going out for just ice cream. No, ice cream's after the dinner. Oh, we got a whole bunch of comments. I will check them out after this shot. A little left. All right, let's see. All right. My thumb. Okay, so basically where my thumb is, well, at least where it's supposed to be, because of where it is, I had a habit of bending my wrist. So like we look at it this way, I had a habit of bending my wrist in, and the problem is that I would lose all the tension in my back. Like I had a really hard time shooting the shot because I would have this habit of bending my wrist in because I had my thumb too flat against my finger tab. So by having it out a little bit more, it allows me to keep more of a angle, such kind of like this. Obviously, it's going to straighten out more with the tension of the bow, and then that way, since my wrist is either straight or out just a little bit, I have a lot more control over my back to shoot that shot. Uh, it is definitely a work in progress. It's something me and my coach have been working on because I had a really bad habit just from years of shooting, doing my own thing, and then years with other coaches that kind of knew what they were doing. It was just a mess. So in the past, I'd have a bad habit of I wouldn't really go. I would go back, but my hand would come out because I wasn't using my back. So my wrist would go flat, like it would actually go in, and then I would release with my fingers and my hand would go out and then back. And that was really unproductive. Now, have I completely fixed it at this point in time? No, but it is it's light years better than where it was in the past, and I'm really happy with the progress. It's definitely something I'm still working on. And today I'm shooting fairly smooth by my standard. It could definitely be better, but yesterday was my first. I had a day off 2 days ago, so yesterday was my first day back. I always take one day off a week, and that that was a little bit rougher yesterday. So it's actually smoothed out a lot today compared to yesterday, and I would think it would be really good tomorrow. But of course, tomorrow I'm actually going to my coach's place to to get a lesson and see how I'm progressing and how my progress is and what we need to work on, or what concepts maybe that I was doing good in practice there with him that I need to work on reinforcing more at home because they slipped up. Just because you can't have somebody watch you constantly, and you are human, so you're used to forming a certain habit, and you'll slowly drift back towards that habit, at least from my experience. So that's what I'm really liking going to like a coach, because he's really helping me break some of these really bad shooting habits that I wasn't happy with personally. So it's nice to be getting answers for that, and then seeing his answers and his solutions to that problem, or these problems getting fixed, and I'm getting better scores, and I feel like I'm making better shots. Yeah. I got hit by something.
We believe.
Oh, really? Oh. Oh. Anyway, it's on the target. That wasn't that great of a shot. Let's go answer some questions. Ooh, okay. So we have two. The first one that's easier will be sunglasses. I find the sunglasses is it's not quite a personal preference. I feel like the majority of archers would like to wear them, but based on, I guess, like how your face is, the type of sunglasses you own, and I guess how you have like where your head is positioned during your shot. I feel like some people are maybe like um, they're more they're leaned over a little bit more. Some people are leaned back a little bit more, and that changes people's view down the bow. And for some people, the sunglasses, the middle piece, the nose piece, ends up getting in the way of their sights or their string alignment, and they just can't see what's going on. So I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of different reasons why some people don't wear glasses, but those are like some of the big ones. I know. I feel like when I first started, I wasn't wearing sunglasses, and then I kind of, I don't know, not quite changed my form, but like I just remember at some point I was like, oh, sunglasses work fine for me now, and it's been that way since. But I did start when I was about like 12, 13 years old, so I'm 26 now. So there's a lot of growing to do, physically between those two ages. So I'm guessing at some point I probably got like I guess the facial features and such that I have now. So that maybe that helps set me up, or like just like how my form is and how I set up my body for the shot. Maybe that just became more concrete as I got older. I don't really have a good answer for that. I guess there is technically a third camp for the sunglasses, and there's a couple of people that feel like sunglasses distort the target down range. I have not experienced that, at least with this pair of sunglasses. I have with other pairs of sunglasses, but I that might even be a personal like thing, too, just based on like the shape of your eye and things like that. I also wear contacts, so I don't know if there's anything, additional with that. But yeah, that's my take on sunglasses and shooting. I feel like most people want to wear them. Some people just can't wear them with how they shoot or how their face is or whatever. And then there's a very small percentage that feel like it actually, you know, distorts the target, distorts what they're viewing, and then that's why they don't wear them. Ooh, eliminations at Gator Cup. Uh, I won my first match. That was good. That was good progress. Second one I got knocked out in against Matt Zumbo. He owns the Black Mamba finger tabs. Uh, let's see. Other than that, I don't know. I felt like I was pretty happy with my performance. I shot uh, pretty consistent. I was still doing something a little funny with my front shoulder, my bow arm. So I would shoot two really good shots, like usually like a 9 or a 10, and then the third one I'd have to like wait on, just because like my shoulder was tired. It feels great now, by the way, so don't like it. It was definitely not. It was definitely like me overworking it up to that event, and not like me, I don't know, doing anything like any kind of serious damage. It was just tired because I, I was trying a little too hard because I was really excited on how the shooting was going, because I was shooting a lot of really great ends at home. So I probably pushed it a little bit too far, but it's fine now. But yeah, I would shoot like two really good shots, usually the first two, and then I would just have to sit and wait on the third one, because I wanted to make sure that my my bow arm recovered, because the bow arm is really important before making that third shot. Of course, it is head-to-head elimination rounds, so there's only so much time. You get a shortened clock, so you kind of got to really work that time to make it happen. So yeah, I managed to win the first one. It wasn't outright. Forget what the score was. I want to say it ended like 4-6. Me with 6 points, of course, but it's somewhere very close. The guy was shooting well, and then of course I was, a couple of those I rushed that third shot, or I was, yeah, wasn't taking my time, and didn't get the result that I wanted and or needed, because there was some of them that was like, oh, I need to shoot a 9 or a 10 to win this set, and I would go and like shoot an 8 and tie, and that wasn't really getting me somewhere. But yeah, I don't know. I think it was a good experience. Oh, see, look, that was redeeming after being attacked by a leaf. It's an unfortunate result, but yeah, that was a good shot. Nine. No, that's 9, but it was still 9. I'm working on it. See, this is why we're at practice right now. So I'm glad you guys could be a part of my my practice, and we got a lot more comments. All right. Now, somebody did mention about me holding, too long. Yeah, I know. But right now, I need to really focus on staying, the foundation, staying in the same spot, not leaning back, making sure that I'm using my back, and keeping that front shoulder in the same spot. Maybe not all that exactly at once, but that's my big foundation stuff right now. And then my coach said, then we can work on speeding up the shot, but let's not rush something that's not solid, because I know from past experience that usually just causes a lot of like uneasiness in the shot itself, and then like mentally you start questioning what you're doing because you're too much in a rush to shoot that arrow, and archery is not really a good thing to rush, at least for me. All right, let's see what other questions we have, and then we'll wrap this up. I don't want to a couple times I had to let down the bow there, so might take a little bit of a break, and then I'll go and shoot some more later. Of course, this is the only practice time that I'm actually live streaming at this point, unless there's really a demand for it. But let's see what else you guys have to say. Ooh. Okay, no, that's a good point. Holding too long can definitely make, and it could be part of my shoulder getting tired. That's definitely a very valid point. And yeah, for some of the ones, it's tough because sometimes you get those shots where everything feels great, and you're just you're working on back, working on using your back to shoot it, just to click the clicker, and it's like, oh, I really don't want to set this down because everything feels good. Now, some of the shots where things feel like a little bit off, like, ooh, everything's drifting, I feel like everything's drifting up, or it just feels very unbalanced. Now, those I should definitely like set down immediately because I definitely screwed up my setup. But no, that's a very good point. If your shoulder's getting tired, especially if your bow arm, you are definitely holding too long, or you're probably holding too long. The thing I'm most proud of about my form right now, besides when it actually all works, like when I do all my steps correctly, I'm really happy with that because it feels great. And then when I walk down, I see that I have a great result too because I shoot really great groups. Nice, solid, like 9.5 to 10. So not even like outside nines, like 9.5s and in. I'll get, and that's just awesome. But I've been really happy with my release. I know it's not the prettiest thing yet, and I had some really great examples in this live stream of poor releases, but it's come so far from where it began, that for me it's a really big accomplishment, and I'm pretty proud of it. It definitely has progress to go. I have work to put in to make my release better, but I'm really liking the direction it's going, and something I got to work on. All right, so that about wraps up this live stream. Hopefully everybody enjoyed. I did forget, I will not be live streaming tomorrow. I have to go and drive a couple hours up to my coach's range where we practice, and I'm not going to be live streaming from there. At least not yet. Maybe in the future, but it depends on how things go, because that requires like data packages and things like that. So that gets expensive. But yeah, uh, no live stream tomorrow. That is what's that? Wednesday. So check in. Tune in Thursday. Hopefully, if the weather is good, if we have a nice sunny day or overcast day, as long as it's not raining, then we're in good shape. I will have a live stream starting at about 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, tune in, and I'll see you guys there. Thank you so much for showing up and asking all these really great questions. It's great for me. I think it's great for the archery community. Hopefully people can learn from this, and maybe I'll even make some of these questions into some short clips so that people that are looking for information on this particular topic, that or these questions that you guys have brought up, they can get an answer to them, all thanks to you guys, the viewers. So thank you for watching. And as always, happy shooting.